Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where me and Erin are going to talk to y'all about Southern Charm, season 10 finale. Yes, she's back. Everybody, welcome Erin.
Hey everybody, happy reunion day.
Yes, part 1. Is that 3 parts? Girl, so many reunions going on right now.
I know, I don't even know. Oh man, does it need to be 3? I don't know.
Girl, who knows? Because shoot.
I know. But this one was good. What do you think? I thought this was a good first start.
Part 1 was good. Yes, I am. Okay, listen. I'm just so damn disappointed. I really thought these ladies that I held to a higher regard, i.e. Venita and Molly, would not fall in the fray of the pH imbalance of it all, but they did. I just don't have any more hope for this group.
I think Venita kept her pH pretty clean because ain't nobody touching JT but her, and they just kissed. No?
The whole point in getting with the friend group.
Oh, fair.
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's like nobody else in Charleston. What other close city is next to Charleston? I mean, with all the people now, you know, Venita's cute.
She's beautiful. I think she's stunning. Yeah.
I know her DM is pizzopping. All I'm saying is, why it always gotta be the devil, you know. And here you are getting burned at the stake, mad and upset, walking off trying to find your cell phone for proof, looking like, and then production making you look like, and he trying to make you look like all this because you, girl, what happened to just keeping platonic friends? You know?
I blame JT.
I blame Manny. Shit.
Oh, taking it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw you, Manny.
Girl, I don't have any hope. Especially, I thought Molly was smarter than that. Girl,
I didn't. I love Molly, but Molly screams low self-esteem.
Oh, damn.
No, and I love her, and we all love her. Molly is the season's sweetheart, I think. You know, but like, yeah,
the thick girl of the group at a size 7. Okay.
Yeah. No, I just think, because the way that like it was this weird like consolation prize after Sienna, it just was like, ugh, no.
To be honest, Sienna ain't no more of a raving beauty than Molly. Quiet as kept, loud as I'm saying it. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe her title puts her a little higher than, but she ain't Miss Bahamas now. That was 2021.
Well, listen, they're both models. They're, all different things, but I just think that was the approach that it was kind of looked at. And, not to jump ahead, but we learned that they not only did they kiss, but they hooked up a couple times, and she just got relegated to one of the locals that Shep just slept with. And I don't really, and I'm so that's why I'm saying, like, Molly, you should have been like, no, we're not hooking up. It's too soon. I feel like there was this weird pressure to give them this weird ass storyline, and she went with it, but like it didn't gain her anything in the end. But then again, Shep's not whatever. Shep's a mess. He's doing better, but like,
She should just have him eat it. That was it. That's all she
Oh,
should have did. She should know did no penetration. She should just said eat it and I'll think about it.
5 minutes
I would have.
in, and that's what she said. Oh,
I would have. Now
my
you can eat
neck,
it.
my back.
You can eat it. You can eat it like groceries, but nothing else.
But she doesn't give that vibe, and that's the
She needs
problem.
to.
I know, right? I see, and that's the problem. And she need to is the same side of that coin. So here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, we
I mean,
digress.
but he came back for seconds. So all I'm saying is he would have came back for ace fucking with. I mean, excuse me, messing with me. You can eat it.
Remember he hooked
Right
up
now.
with Catherine. You know what I mean? He's a hookup kind of guy.
Exactly. So she ain't the only one. Therefore, you can eat it, and I'll think about the other thing later. But you can eat it all day.
Okay. In case you weren't clear about what could happen. Everybody, get your
Long
knife
as you
and
with
fork.
me, you will always be fed. That's all I gotta say. Well, let's get into this review.
Yes. On that note.
Okay, y'all. So we got some info. Of course, we had the intro where we see all the key players. And yeah, they're looking all good right there. It's a lot on there, But then we see the seating chart, y'all. And of course, Craig and Paige is the top of the charts, child. Shep gonna always be top of the charts. Every reunion, he next to Craig. I mean, he next to Andy. Girl, Shep
Was he next to him last season? I think he was because of the Taylor breakup, huh?
Yeah, he was sitting. He was sitting where Craig is sitting now.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, and Taylor was on the other cat. Yeah.
Craig. They pretty much switched Craig and him. And Molly is sitting where Taylor was sitting last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to get into the looks. Miss Patricia looking at her. Please. Yes. Aqua. What was that? Aqua? Light blue? Sky blue?
It's always interesting because the actual color is different, versus how it reads on camera. It's looking to me kind of like a gold, like a ice blue with a gold shimmer to it, maybe.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
So anyway, may I be old enough to look elegant in a moo dress like that,
girl? Okay, with some fur.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got my man.
Yep, his tie's too short.
It is. He's so
Otherwise,
he's like 6'4".
He's very tall and long. I will give him that he looks good, looks healthy for him. He's maintained that. I'm happy to see it for him.
Yes.
His energy is good for this reunion.
Yes, he has been humbled. Or is it humbled? Is the A silent?
No, well, either one. His energy was good. Like, yeah, it seemed like a present Shep,
Come home, Shep. And then we got crazy, sexy, cool Craig.
Yeah. I don't love his hair.
It's the underbang, not it's the back.
It's the under curl. It's the curl under the ear. It's the
cut it.
Yeah.
It's too long for me. Not that I care, but not that he cares about what I like, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, he did a little twirl for Andy. He thought he was cuter than he was, in my opinion. But that's all right. Craig's getting it. It's Craig's season to get kicked around, so it's okay.
Here's Austin looking like Austin.
Yeah, but I think even Austin's a little on the thinner side. He's all right. Benign Austin is not in trouble this season.
When I see him, I think of Howdy Doody Time. I don't know why, but
that's funny.
No shade.
You know what I think of when I think of Austin? Just like middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like
The
just
fork,
average.
not the fork.
Nope, just the middle. Not the fork, the middle. Your average consumer.
And here's Taylor Ann Green looking cute in that dress. All right.
Yeah, this
I
was
love her
cute.
hair, bone straight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her natural color or does she dye it, do you think? Looks really nice.
I'm sure she dyes it. Like it's probably, especially you could even tell by the roots, but it looks good. She can carry this. It was probably when she was like the situation. She was a little kid. It was this color.
Because growing up, my hair would get blonder in the summer. The sun would dye my hair because it was natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural now. I don't have any, relax or anything in it, or not even any color. So but when I was little, it was that it would get a good honey blonde. Like, oh, what's going on? At the top, of course, because that's where the sun was beaming. But yeah, I just wondered because I'm not too familiar with other folks' hair, so I'm just wondering. But if it's blonde, I don't know, because sometimes I see roots and then people hair will just be different colors. So I'm like, is that really their hair or is it dyed? So it's generally dyed when I see it looking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know her hair dyed. She a hairdresser.
Right.
And this is not Ragu, but Prego, 4 months, looking like she's 6 months, but that's because she is size 0.
She's a very tiny person too. I think she's
Okay.
very short. I think she's very short.
Looking all cute.
Yeah. Happy for her. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Madison, on your baby girl.
So she was 4 months. When they filmed this? October?
No, it wasn't October. It was just recently. It wasn't that long ago. It was like maybe February.
Okay, so she probably doing June.
Yeah.
Just like my cousin. Okay. All right. Next we got this heifer looking like she ain't even there. She mixed in with the doggone atmosphere. What do they call that?
That dress was wowie. Like, did you see the pieces? You know what I mean? Like, you have to have a body to carry this shit off. That wasn't even comfortable to sit in, I bet.
Girl, probably has no stretch.
What do you mean? They're pieces of metal, like put all together.
She could wear some with no stretch.
She apparently, because she's wearing literally like she's wearing pieces of metal put together. Yeah, it was wild. But hats off to her. Like clap, clap, clap.
I love her hair. I love when she wears it so big and full like that. It looks like she may have cut it, or maybe because
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, she may have trimmed it.
She's elegant and beautiful, and she wanted JT to suck it, and he did.
I mean, she might as well wear one of them outfits they wore on the Beverly Hills finale, those Carnival.
I'm serious. Listen,
suits, child.
Looked impeccable.
Ooh. Next, we got Hubba Bubba looking all yum yum, chew you like some bubble gum. Go ahead, Leva.
I do like this dress. I will say, especially as a lady that has quite a large chest myself, she looked very uncomfortable sitting. Her boobs, like it was just if you like watched it again and would look at her, it's like level that. Oh, anyway, so this is cool. Looks good.
Let me tell you something. Leva looks good. I think she may be best dressed just because she fills it in perfectly. Ain't nothing oozing out on the side. You know how I'm big chested too. So we both know how spillage can be.
Right. No, I will say she has done big décolletage, done it well. I'll give her that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
she's done it well.
Hair.
Yeah.
I love that. I wish we would have seen her family on this season just a little bit. I mean, we saw her 3 times. We couldn't see her family once. Her little cute little son and husband. I mean, are they on the other show, Hospitality? Do they come on there?
I don't know. I don't watch that one. I just watched the reunion because I heard it was
Girl,
juicy, and even though I didn't know them, it was. So,
girl.
and it doesn't mean I'm going to watch next season either. I don't mind Leva as a friend, but when she said that she wasn't coming back, I wasn't even necessarily sad about that either. So, I'm cool with Leva, but
Yeah.
I'm not attached.
So we need another heifer on the show next season, or
We need
what?
a new Cameron.
I think that's Madison now. Actually,
Madison has no sense.
I think she stepped into that role. Remember, she was trying to get Craig and Austin together. She was trying to get all three, all the Trace amigos.
Yeah, but like Madison is interesting in that like she doesn't like there's a certain level of emotional depth that she doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm. She's trying to keep that man. She ain't trying to be messy. So I think
Right.
her role can be Leva's role and just being the voice of reason, and plus she'll be busy with the baby, so she'll be in and out next season anyway.
I don't think Madison always sees it reasonably though. Madison has a temper that makes her kind of a hothead. So I don't know. I mean, Madison's the one that'll throw a grenade and walk out. You cheated on so and so, boom, and run away. You know what I mean? She's just so anyway. But I do agree. Yes, as far as like a different role for her, but.
I'm gonna tell her something, but I'm gonna read her for fifth a little later, Miss Madison. Because I think she full of shit, but because she's pregnant, I ain't gonna say it to her face. I ain't gonna say it to her face, but I'm gonna say it right here. And then she said she was gonna try for a boy after this girl, so she's gonna have 2 years of keeping Brett interested, and don't no man want a loudmouth woman. I don't care where she's from. So I think she's gonna play it cool until 2028 or maybe 2027, and once she's done with all her kids, she may come out swinging like A-Rod, no pun intended.
I think he already knows he's got a loudmouth woman, but who's next on the looks?
This Coca-Cola jacket wearing fool named Rodrigo. Oh, he was always in the mess. Child. I can't wait for 2 and 3 because he was loud last year. I can't wait.
Yeah, in a weird way, like in an off-putting way. Like I want to like Rodrigo, but I don't trust him because he comes out with like a vicious level of like of a temper in certain ways that I'm like, whoa, that's your inner misogynist slipped out.
Now, maybe he'll get activated if Ryan comes out in either part 2 or 3, because Ryan had to read him for filth when Rodrigo was trying to, chime in on the finale, when Venita needed a little moral support to confront Ryan about the lie she believed Ryan told about JT, so.
I do respect the way Ryan stood up for himself, though.
I do too.
He said, "I don't want the peanut gallery. This is between Venita and I'm offended that you're attacking my integrity." Like he was straight up pissed, and he stood by it. He didn't talk to Venita for 4 months. I kind of believe that something was relayed to him that way. Do you know what I mean?
10 toes.
Ryan he was like, "F you."
I respect it, but at the same time, I know somebody lying. That's all I know.
I think that some black girl got translated to Ryan. I think the hairdresser, maybe like it's not. Yeah, I think it just was. I think too much telephone was played, but I respect Ryan for the way he stood on business. I do, and it made the situation credible.
Well, y'all, that was the look. So we're gonna get into what was said, child. Okay, so of course they start off with little. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you're pregnant. Woo-de-woo. Yeah. So anyway, Craig break up with Paige. You know more about this than I do, because I really don't give a doggone. But it is.
Craig did not break up with Paige. Paige broke up with Craig.
Oh, I did say it the wrong way, huh?
Well, and the reason I jokingly correct you is because that is a sticking point in this whole thing. Paige broke up with Craig.
Now, according to Craig, she was like, not really, but really. It's like she was, just like how she said in the car, this may be the last time we see each other, yada, yada. It's like, it sounds like she really didn't want to break up. And for me, anybody who says they want to go find themselves, they want to leave you be, maybe they're not sure. However, show what's that term? Show as shit stank. They broke up.
Oh,
But I believe Craig and his accounting of she was wishy-washy, even though they broke up circa Thanksgiving 2024, and they're still communicating. Next thing you know, all his stuff is on his porch through UPS or whatever courier service. But in between then, she was kind of him and hawing until she had to finally just say, okay, I'm done.
If you watch Summer House, you would feel a different way.
Okay.
And
spill it.
Well, I kind of feel like it's semantics and it doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like people are trying to look at Craig and go, "Ooh, you lied, you wouldn't admit." And it's like, he wasn't ready to talk about it yet. And like, I do think to your point, I do think to your point, there was some, there was enough discussion. Craig didn't want to break up with her, so I think he was clinging to any shred of hope that he had that they were going to work it back out. And I don't think he felt very 100% sure. I think he took whatever scraps he could get that she threw his way, that maybe they would get back together, because this was somebody he wanted to marry. So, I can understand why he was like, I wasn't ready to announce anything yet, because of look at the way they've picked apart their relationship ever since they broke up, So I feel like people are harping on this idea that Craig kept it under his toop for a month. And I'm like, who cares? Like, he was brokenhearted. He wasn't ready to do that shit. And she probably wasn't totally clear with him yet either, So I do feel very played by production on both Southern Charm and Summer House, because y'all are both on Bravo, but if you watch the two different shows, you have completely different narratives going on. So in the end, when I reflect back on their relationship on either show, I think they needed to go their separate ways, because they both have different careers they want to pursue. And she was going to make him move to New York. Like, he was going to move to New York. What was he going to do with Southern Charm? Like, Craig, two different worlds,
Help me understand why she could not move to
She didn't want to.
Charleston.
She didn't want to.
Only because she didn't want to.
Correct. And she...
Okay, well, that's enough for Craig to say, okay, since you don't want to compromise, maybe we do need to break up. But of course, he wasn't going to say that. And it sounds like she just didn't want to move forward because she didn't want to.
She did not want to live in...
That's really cold.
Well, she has a career in New York. She has a podcast with a former castmate from Summer House called Giggly Squad, and they film in that show in New York. And they just finished a 60-city tour. They are the like early millennial, late Gen Z, like poster children. They're well liked. They're very popular within a certain demographic. And so in many respects, Paige is just as popular, if not more, than Craig in her own right, in her own world. So she... I
have a question about what you said.
Yeah.
Didn't she tell Craig, you guys can film separately, you're on a podcast? touring is one thing. I would expect her to leave on a tour as if anybody who has a tour. Of course, you have to be somewhere in person. But as far as her normal day-to-day podcast, why do they need to be in the same exact space? We're not.
Paige,
Podcast, I mean, help me
Pa-
understand.
Paige didn't want to move down to Charleston. Paige likes her life in New York City.
That's
Paige
my
is,
point.
yeah,
That's
she's, but
cold.
why? But what? Why doesn't Craig move up there?
Because his business needed him down in Charleston. Literally, not the podcast, but his pillow business. Maybe not for the next 5 years straight, because he was leaving, going back and forth. But his money maker that sustains everything that he does needed him there. So those are two different
Well, Paige is also on Summer
necessities.
House. Paige is also a New Yorker on Summer House.
But
She's
that's
not
filmed all year. His pillow business is all year.
But
That warrants him there primarily.
he doesn't go to that store enough. He could be from New York and fly down there to do his appearances and stuff like that. Like the situation was that he has a house there and he wanted to build a life there. And I think she initially agreed that that would be part of the plan, but then her career blew up more and she didn't want to change the trajectory of her career to downshift and be Craig's wife and be a mom and be in that mode and be in the home and do all those things.
And that's fine when things change, where her priorities change.
Mm-hmm.
But just to say she doesn't want to seems cold compared to what he's bringing to the table as far as making changes to his whole itinerary.
Yes. And that would be the criticism of Paige, is that you have a good man that really loves you and that wants to build a life with you, and you are unwilling to compromise enough to keep it together. But obviously Paige stopped wanting this relationship with him and stopped wanting to, so that's just the truth, that her priorities changed, like you said, and the life that she saw herself living with Craig, she no longer wanted. And it was a bit of a painful decline. It looks like, based on the two shows, that like about the last 6 months of their relationship, that she was maybe like, things were changing for her way more than they were for Craig. Now, we both know, as adorable as Craig is, sometimes he's oblivious to like what's really going on or like what it really looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes he calls it well, and then sometimes he's like, I'm a storyteller and I'm a lawyer and a storyteller, and you're like, what? So,
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, the point is, the Paige and Craig thing is a huge deal. I think they both, now it's like a war of the PR games or whatever, but I wish them both well. And like,
definitely,
I feel like this. At the end of the day, I love Craig on this show. I think he's adorable, and he's also like, a big, but I also will always respect, I really will, that a young woman is having a successful rise in her career, and she took it.
For sure.
Men do it all the time. They do it all the time. They dump their girlfriends. I'm not ready for a relationship. They break up with the one, you know what I mean? Like, for their careers, and nobody looks twice at them about doing it, So.
I just realized I didn't get Sally.
Who?
I didn't get Sally on here.
Or Molly.
I didn't get Molly either.
Mm-mm.
Girl, let's go back real quick, because I'm looking like, wait a minute. They right here.
Okay, good.
Why didn't we talk about?
Well, I noticed, but I didn't want. I just said, let's roll.
Okay, so rewind real quick before we move on. Let's look at Miss Molly. Good golly, Miss Molly. Look at that. Shining.
But that's not what she wore on the reunion.
girl, look, this whole background ain't what everybody wore.
Yeah, true.
But that's what they gave, child.
Okay. Well, she looks good.
But Sally did for the most part. She gave this dress. I'm like, what is going on, child? I don't know.
I didn't like the material of Sally's dress. I thought Molly looked cute in that red dress. But I did not like the material of Sally's dress. But Sally is a beautiful woman, and blonde hair, brown hair, whatever. Good Lord, she's had a deep tan though. Wow.
She did.
And it's like, look out, you in danger, girl.
Not you in danger, girl.
Well, the tone that you're trying to paint is a little woo. Look out.
It's one thing that you try and fit in with the group, but when you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Over melanate.
when you outshine some folks who may or may not be the star, or considered key cast, it may jumble some feathers. But let me see. I think I pretty much found that dress just that quick. I swear, isn't technology wonderful? You can just go ahead, get it in, you know what I'm saying, and just make it work. Now, the red dress as what's his name? What's that fool? My. New edition. What's that fool name? Johnny Gill.
Oh, Lord. Sorry, girl. You were pulling deep in there. I'm like, what is happening?
Okay, there's that dress.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Not too much that shoulder part, but for real, listen, I'm with we all tall girls, so big ups to all the stallions, 5'10" and up, 5'9" and up, maybe 5'8" too. So yeah, she looks great.
Mm-hmm.
She looks great. Just want to make sure we get her in there. And Sally, yeah, she had on that showing off her boudoir. But yeah, okay. Oh my goodness, I can't. That's what they're right there. Sure enough, he is right there. Anyway, okay, so we are closing up Craig and Paige, and
yep. Craig is rumored to already be dating someone. He said on Watch What Happens Live, he confirmed he is seeing someone.
I have a question for you. Do you think Paige was giving him mixed signals, like he said? Do you think that part was true?
I do think that there was enough for him to hold on to.
Not because he didn't want to break up, but because of what she was.
Oh, I think it was a little of both.
Okay.
But honestly, my point is, I don't care. I can't blame him. He wasn't ready. Give him a break. It was a 3-year relationship. He was devastated. I don't care. Lie to my face until you're ready. It's fine. Those are kind of one of those things where it's like, it's none of your business for a second. Jesus,
Oh, well, next year, when
he'll be fine.
Season 11, he'll be over and done. You know
He'll
what
be
I'm
fine.
saying?
He'll be fine. He's attractive. He's wealthy. He's on a reality show. He will find some woman that'll melt on into his life and tell him he's the best. He'll be fine.
Okay, next we got the Madison. She's being honored in this segment. And of course, we're talking about her being prego. She had to hold it in and she didn't want to be a bad friend, as she said, but she had to wait. And she's 4 or maybe 4.5 months at this reunion taping. And so she should be about 5.5, 6 about now. 4 more months. So we're looking at maybe June. Or maybe she'll have a birthday. Maybe she'll have the baby on my birthday. Ooh. Yeah, so we're looking at a summer baby, which is wonderful. Of course, they got into the fray with JT. Madison and Brett. I believe we discussed this before, and we were in agreement that Brett needed to know why and what was going on with his wife. He wasn't secure enough to the point where he's questioning JT.
Now, I felt this interaction was weird, but I also felt like in the same energy of the Venita JT conversation was also weird. I do think that, Madison saying, my husband and I called, like it wasn't an interrogation, like, it wasn't some hot, do you think I'd be on the phone? I don't know. Like the way that they were both maintaining completely different
Accounting.
yeah, like it just was weird to me. Like it was like the two of them were like both being like a force field where the other one was like, no, it wasn't like that. And I'm like going, but which one is it? Because it can't be quite both the way that you guys are claiming.
I think Madison is trying to hold on to her husband and she'll do whatever that he wants her to do. I do believe that her husband wanted to make sure, or probably didn't trust. Perhaps she said something, maybe he already had a preconceived notion. But the fact that her husband calls all the way to, no, they were already back. Sorry, scratch that part. The fact that her husband and her called JT and he's asking questions about whereabouts is enough for JT to say what he said. Now, when JT mentioned them both wearing stripes, I would figure that would be well within the rights of that context to question whether or not Brett thought that they had something going on, because who calls a male friend of the wife with her on the phone just to confirm nothing went on, unless the husband thought something was going on? Otherwise, why the phone call?
I think that Brett was more nervous about Austin. I think that Brett, I think that maybe that because Madison was claiming that she was drunk, I think maybe they got in a weird conversation and they called. I think it could have been as simple as, they got on the subject of, and you didn't answer the phone that night. Why, are you worried? Well, I mean, like, whatever. We'll call JT. I was with him. He'll prove it right now. You don't even have to worry about anything. That. So I do think, to your point, that there was something weird there that he feels insecure. But I also don't think that just because Madison put on JT's PJ, was impersonating him to be joking about it, that was the impetus. I think that JT is the complete safe guy. And so she was looking to him to confirm, no, I was with my gay straight friend. You know what I mean?
But Brett didn't see it that way. He's a husband.
Well, I don't think Brett ever thought it was JT. So that's where I disagree with JT's interpretation. I think Brett might have been maybe a little bit weird because he was worried it was Austin, and JT took the thing of, why are you asking me? Are you worried about me? No, you're the alibi, stupid.
And if Madison could have said that, it would have only confirmed that her husband doesn't trust her.
Right. So, and I think that
that's the basis of all of that, is the fact that her husband did not totally trust her to be with whoever, and admitting that she was drunk enough to not answer his call. Don't no husband want to know that his wife is too drunk to answer a call while in the company of her ex. I think JT was well within his right of context. Otherwise, well, I'll say this in addition to that before I say otherwise. JT doesn't want to rock the boat anymore. I believe he could have said something similar to what I'm trying to convey, but it would have rocked the boat even more. But now she's pregnant. You don't want to upset a pregnant woman. On top of, you don't want to, throw egg on Brett's face. On top of, you don't want any more enemies out of anybody because damn near everybody on the stage don't like him. I just think the safe route was to do what he did.
I will agree, because I think you and I think regardless of the semantics, the details, right? I do agree with you. I think he was trying to get out of going tit for tat with Madison and fighting to be right without playing with a, well, your husband called me because he was, yeah. So, I mean, I think he was like, I really want to move on. And I'm like, yeah. And it was just weird. But I think Madison was basically showing him with her eyeballs, you're dead to me because you didn't have my back. You exposed my marriage and you made it weird instead of like.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see that too, because Madison is Madison.
She's Madison, right? She's mad at Craig for being nice to JT when she was mad at him. She holds grudges that way. She's like emotionally immature that way. But
yeah, but it's like guys having conversation. It is what it is. And had your husband not called me, we wouldn't.
Yeah, that part is weird. The husband calling you and confirming whereabouts is weird. So, and y'all packed it up real sloppy. So
Brett should have had a person-to-person conversation. Therefore, that would have never aired.
Brett shouldn't have ever called. Brett shouldn't have ever called anyone on that cast to confirm what Madison was doing. Because that puts a target on you right there. And if you have to call someone to feel better about a situation instead of believe your wife, goes back to your point of what's going on here.
And i.e. why she was on the boat, on the top of the boat out there in the Bahamas versus being in the fray with everyone else, i.e. with Austin.
Well, they did shoot scenes with her going. Remember, she met up with Austin on her own, and they had a drink. So it's right. It's weird.
But if you notice, she had a baseball cap on, looking as less beautiful as she could. To me, it's obvious. Maybe it's just me. Don't mind me, y'all. But it's just me. It's just the things that I noticed about this situation. First of all, Brett ain't got nothing to worry about, but Brett don't know that, in my opinion.
I just don't feel like I agree with you that it's weird, but I don't feel like I understand enough of exactly how or what went down to be able to pinpoint anything.
Yeah.
So,
but that phone call says a lot. You have to
admit it. I do. I admit that it's weird. The phone call thing was weird.
Why call? Like, what do you want? Aren't you busy?
Yeah, it's weird.
But okay, well, I know. Okay, one last thing. If it was anybody else, perhaps the lows wouldn't be there. But it was JT.
Yeah, that's funny. That is a point.
Oh my God. Well, next we go on to my man, Mr. Shep.
Shepherd.
How you doing, Shepherd Rose? How you doing, boo?
He does have a good name. He does. Actually. He does have a good name.
Rose is my favorite flower, just FYI.
Shepherd Rose.
Any color will do.
You hear that, Shep?
Hey, Shep. I heard you wanted somebody you really didn't have to depend on, or she didn't have to depend on you. Mm-hmm.
Someone that doesn't need you.
Okay. Hey. Anywho, I ain't desperate, and we ain't saying that. I'm just talking.
And let me tell you something. She don't ever need you, ever. I can say that as her friend. She don't need you or anybody else for that matter. She don't. She's one of those ladies that can say, I don't need you and mean it.
And I'm smiling with my eyes rolled behind my head. Yeah. Well, We know good and hell well Sienna didn't need them old heifer. She probably still on Raya trying to find her forever. But we ain't gonna give her too much because Shep did read a little more into it. He was a pee whip, but that's okay. That
A
happens to the best.
little. He wasn't
That
a
happens
little
to the
pee
best.
whipped.
Yeah.
He was pee throttled.
So the one thing that Andy wanted to straighten out for Taylor's sake, Taylor and Green's sake, was
Yeah.
the comparison of Sienna and Taylor. Just as a gentleman as he is, he
Hold on a
apologized.
second. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is so dumb. If Taylor had married Shep and hyphenated her name, she would have been Taylor Greenrose.
What's a green rose?
I don't know. I'm just noticing how funny that would have sounded. You know what I mean? The
She would
color
have been
green.
Taylor Rose. She ain't hyphenating nothing.
Green Rose. Anyway, sorry. That was a
Taylor
total
and Rose. Tar.
and feathered. Okay.
Okay, so Andy wanted to make sure Taylor and Green was good. So he brought up the comparison Shep was making. I don't think he was saying it to take a dig, but it did sound like that in the context of what he's never had before was a woman who had her own and didn't need him. And that had something going on. Of course, it sounded horrible, but I don't think he said it to take a dig at Taylor. He did apologize because he is a gentleman. He is, which was wonderful. Perhaps he could have apologized before that reunion, and that would have made it even sweeter. Hopefully he did, but they didn't say that.
She had him blocked, so even if he did, she wouldn't have seen it.
Hell, Austin, call Taylor on 3-way. Everybody got 3-way.
Not Austin. Austin, don't deliver that message. Stay out of that shit.
No. Call on 3-way. Call on 3-way. I need to say something real quick.
I think he's blocked too. I think he's blocked too.
Everybody. Okay, well.
She did unblock him because she texted him about Sally. Okay, so anyway.
Speaking of text, then Andy wanted to get into that embarrassing text. Girl, I'm shaking my head. Sure, Lord have mercy. That he sent, that was heard around the text that was heard around the world.
Severe cringe.
Simp.org.
Yeah.
I mean, Craig was laughing in silence. Like he said that shit. Yeah, he said it. He texted, and he was left on red for a good day and a half. I think. I don't think she replied to it.
No, sure didn't. No, we had to. We literally needed to scrape Shep up off the ground. That's how low that. Listen, all of those gentlemen have had the luxury of being good-looking reality TV stars in a small town tourist town like Charleston.
Yes.
They have had very attractive pee available to them at all times. It was very funny to watch Shep get humbled by this girl who clearly did not care for him the way he cared for her. But right. I really do think he handled this reunion and acknowledged the situation in a great way. So kudos to you, Shep. Shep has the ability for self-reflection, and he showed up at the reunion having done so. And I applaud him for that. He was very gracious to Taylor. He was rude. I don't, like you were saying, I don't think he didn't mean to insult her, but he also was so enraptured with the situation that he let his true thoughts slip. And it is insulting to be a past partner and know that your partner didn't think you were shit. So, I mean,
I don't think it was that deep. It just sounded like Taylor wasn't as accomplished as Sienna.
Yes, but he was also taking digs at Gaston and how her parents liked him better and all of that crap. So I mean, I think there's a little bit there, but I think Shep apologized quite graciously and meant it, and it was
Yes,
believable.
I believe he meant it.
I do.
It was like more in passing. He was thinking more of Sienna and all of what she is, and
Yes.
it was in poor taste because you know he has to film with this woman and yeah, we're both like dang shit.
Yeah, well, and because Taylor wanted to marry Shep, she broke up with him because he cheated on her. Like Taylor didn't want to break up with Shep either. Taylor broke up with Shep because he wouldn't stop cheating on her. So it doesn't feel good, when the boyfriend that you didn't treat you well has moved on and doesn't care, doesn't even think about your feelings about it. But I think it was also I appreciated that he was able to acknowledge that he dove into the Sienna situation super hard because he was lonely after the breakup with Taylor.
Yeah.
So he could at least give Taylor that he missed her companionship.
And now we're on the karma situation. The whole, what
Right.
happened to him is why he's, is in direct relation to what he's done to Taylor and all these obscene amount of women over the years. The one thing I didn't like, and it has nothing to do with my feelings for him at all. But the one thing I didn't like about it was how Madison and Taylor and even Sally, girl, shut up. You got Similac on your breath. If you don't shut up like Molly, like she's chiming in like in Chihuahua, yeah, girl, shut up. Um, it's like why do you keep like beating a dead horse with the fact that you're happy that he's getting. First of all, you're just enjoying the fact that he's hurt, and if he's your friend, maybe it shouldn't feel so good to you, in my opinion. Have some, some decorum about yourself. At least, laugh outside of filming, but just give a little more empathy to your friend. I just thought it was a tad bit trifling of both of them. Maybe not so much Taylor because she had more invested, but Madison, girl, worry about your man calling anybody else trying to figure out where you was.
It's because you like Shep. You can't help it. Because if you think back in the past, Shep was mean to Madison when she was with Austin.
I didn't see that season.
See, and that's why I think, yeah,
But how long ago was that?
Well, I don't know. I don't really think that matters. I mean, like, I'm just saying that in the past, Shep has called Madison trash. He has. And so
last season they had something back and forth.
They've had something for multiple seasons because he hated Austin with Madison because they had a very toxic relationship. But he made it very clear, and I remember this. He made it very clear he thought Madison was trash and that he did not think much of her at all. So
I think Craig did too. The way Craig outed her messing up J-Lo and A-Rod.
I don't know. I mean, him and Madison and Craig almost kissed a long time ago. I found out.
Yeah.
So everybody's PH. Everybody's PH.
That could be. I'm not justifying Shep, but I don't even want to say that. All I know is if you are considering a person, your friend that you love and care about, why are you reveling in their hurt like that? Just because you're a girl's girl? What exactly? I mean, again, worry about your man calling another one of your male friends trying to figure out where you were. And let Taylor do all the digging. She has more right to to turn the knife than Madison does, if you ask me.
I mean, I
Ain't
didn't feel
nobody
like
asked me.
no. I mean, I just don't feel like it's that deep. I just think that they're like, oh, how the tables have turned. The womanizer is getting womanized.
And that's fine, but you don't think it was a bit too much with all the every chance they got? It was like something, and then Sally trying to come in, bringing up the rear. Girl, you sucked on Gaston the first time we saw him. You saw him, so girl, be quiet.
No, but Shep's not my man, so that's okay. You can feel loyal, you can feel protective a little bit, that's fair. That's your guy on the show. You felt like he was
My baby,
yeah, it's okay. He's gonna
Shep, babe.
yeah, you were looking out for him. You are it's okay. I respect it.
I'm defending my man, girl.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, that's
Listen, we
all
get
it
it.
is.
Don't enjoy it too much. For gasoline on the fire, bitches. I get it.
Baby. Don't come for my man,
Mhm.
where it's on and popping.
It's okay.
But like I said, Taylor has every right to say what she gonna say, to do what she gonna do, to laugh, to grill, to roast, to do all the
Yeah,
things.
no, I mean, I just don't think Madison.
Like, girl, you married. Why are you worried about some other man? And Sally, girl, shut up.
Mhm.
You just got here. Be quiet.
I know Sally did just get there and have a lot to say about everybody in general, but
Now, I don't want to shame her for doing BJs on the first night. So, hey, it's all good. But all I'm saying is, girl, you just got here. Be quiet.
yeah, that part is a fair statement. She did jump in quite a bit. I mean, but
Girl,
she does know a lot of dirt on these folks.
listen. Just because she had one half of a romp, don't make her any type of expert aficionado on my man. That's all I'm saying.
Not on the Shepster. No, I don't think it does. No, I'll give you that for sure.
Oh Lord, that was all I had on Shep.
No, just
Shep.
the one note that I would like to say about
Please do.
everybody said that they've seen, and when Andy asked, has Shep really cleaned up his act? The
Oh,
way
yeah.
that everybody volunteered that the last 6-7 months Shep has really been a better version of himself. My applaud Shep, because we've been very much looking at the evolution, all the claims you're making since doing ayahuasca down in Costa Rica. It sure wasn't looking like you were doing so hot when you were texting Sienna and you were cringeworthy. But I'm happy it was nice to see that most of the cast members absolutely said that you've been a better version of Shep in the last 6 months. Keep it going. That's all we can, it's all we can root for as an audience for your betterment. So I'm happy to hear that, truly. And good for you, Shep.
And I see you at BravoCon in November. Mwah.
Yeah. Get ready, Shep, for a lady that doesn't need you.
Child, like a mean green, what's it called? Black eye and pea. Boy.
Yeah, black eyed peas. I love those.
Girl. And some quinoa.
Mm.
And a little bit of asparagus mixed in there real good.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Don't it? Don't mess with me. I know how to cook. Shit. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay, so we almost forgot the Freudian slip when he was talking about that heifer Sienna getting a donor. What was it? What's people called? People who
the annex. He
yeah,
said that the guy,
Denver Broncos dude who she got to sponsor whatever organization she was trying to promote of some sort. It was a Freudian slip of my man, because he was thinking, how is this big black guy, is trying to get with or is in the company of my woman, where he was telling the story that Sienna was telling him about the donor who was the Denver Broncos dude. But first we learned that was a guy that she was dating, according to him. Now the story didn't change because his feelings was all hurt. So now, now the story is he was a donor trying to donate money for her cause, and he had his black
His
Amex.
big black.
Okay.
No, was it a big black, or he said it? Yeah, I think he said his big black. Yeah.
I was like, what? But you know what's funny? When I was watching this show, the actual program glitched twice.
Oh.
So I had to kind of go back a little bit. Like, oh, it was funny the way it glitched right at that moment when Andy came back on and said, oh, what? Oh, so it was kind of funny, like, oh, it was have more of a triple entendre going on with this big boy.
Yep.
It was a Freudian slip because he was thinking this big black guy is.
Oh no, it was black Amex.
Yeah, but I think he was thinking big black guy because he's a Denver Bronco, and it came out wrong. He kind of flubbed, so that Freudian slip is what I was trying to say.
It's funny. Yeah.
It's okay,
funny little moment.
You could be jealous of somebody who may have more than you, or who may be more accomplished or more whatever than you. That's okay. That's okay. She wasn't for you no doggone way.
Clearly.
She can't make no black eyed peas. Sure. Anywho. So that was the funny part of the show about the big black Amex.
It was funny. Yep. It had Andy and Rodrigo in a hold.
Girl, choke. So next, child, we got the humdinger of the whole situation. Venita and JT, baby. He had her going around so much circles. She had to get up mid film and go get her phone as proof that he was lying. Now you know your phone's supposed to be right there with you.
Maybe they didn't let them have it.
Shit. She had it when she came back.
Well, yeah, because she demanded. Listen, if we need proof, receipts, and timeline, we need proof, receipts, and timeline. I'm still confused.
Carrying on, like, when have we ever known him to stutter over his words when he's just outright telling the truth?
That was. I'm still confused. Other than Venita's very hurt and he picked another person.
That's obvious.
And the rest, I don't know what to believe. I feel like production, Venita and JT are all like not giving us the full story, because Venita admits at one point she met JT's girlfriend. They all went to dinner. His mother, his sister, Venita, and she like dropped by and met the new girlfriend. This was some side shit that, like, on an interview or something like that. Like, I still don't understand what's happening. Like, they both admit that they dated after filming. And so I don't understand where he got in a serious relationship enough to have a fish dinner with Venita, and she agrees that she knew about the girlfriend at that point.
Okay, so let's stop there, because you mentioned, now first we thought that fish dinner came in the order of how it was aired, but
we did. We
then found out that fish dinner happened after they came back from the Bahamas.
Venita confirmed that on her thing, said that didn't happen. You're not going to make me a homewrecker for the Bahamas.
Now the new theory is it happened at what point after the Bahamas?
I
Sure.
think it was okay. I think I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you, but it was much later because she said she stopped speaking to him October 23rd.
28.
So 28, there we go. So sometime before then.
Okay, so what I remember about the filming was when she said, Venita said on the after show,
Mm-hmm.
they stopped filming, and then after summer, they spoke again. So they stopped filming before summer or at the beginning of summer. What, May, June was
I
when
don't
they stopped
know.
filming. Because she said after the summer, we started speaking again, and then we started dating.
I told you. At
Girl,
the end of the day, you and I, the hamster shouldn't be working this hard in the wheel
it
to
shouldn't.
to to believe a storyline. I'm not even saying the truth. No, to believe a storyline. The one thing I'm going to circle back to is regardless, you and I sat there and blinked real hard when we watched the editing of this show because it was confusing and it was problematic. And now this stupid Branzino fish scene where they were talking about the girlfriend thing, it's now speaking to the credibility of what's going on between them. And it wasn't presented in order, no matter what. So I don't know. All I know is they were dating at some point, and he was also dating this other girl. He decided he wanted the other girl versus Venita, and Venita was okay with it that she, said, "Yeah, I knew about the girlfriend. I was all right with her, or whatever." And then, um, the trailer comes out, and the girlfriend's calling Venita a rat, and he's not defending her properly, or whatever. And now it's all gone to hell.
What does the rat mean?
Something about like the home wrecker, she basically, I think the girlfriend was accusing Venita of pursuing JT once he made it clear he was in a relationship. And that part I'm not sure about, but at the same time, like
Mm.
Venita's clearly very hurt by JT, but I'm very confused.
All this means is stop dating your friend circle. You got
Right?
all of the United States of America. It ain't like she busted and disgusted. The girl is bad. She's a bad bitch, meaning Venita. So it ain't
Okay, wait. So here's what I'm confused about. Are they saying that they started dating after taping last season? Because that would make sense with the fact that because then Austin's accusing JT of, you went into this season and you hit a girlfriend. So when do you know what I mean? Like, I'm
I don't,
every
I can't trust Austin. I don't think he knows the timeline well enough to even to even say that with his head held high. He's more so knowing that JT got a girlfriend. He was playing Benita and the girl at the same time, and I don't even think he knows the timeline well.
I don't either, and I just am annoyed with the poor storytelling again with production. I don't want to have to piece this shit together anymore, and you've made it that way based on what you've portrayed. So, boo to you, and boo to you, JT. You were trying to play it. You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. I do really respect Andy's. Well, the fuckboy exorcism went into you.
That part. I swear they didn't fool me. The
Yeah,
three
I
people
know.
I knew that had they ish together was Molly, Benita, and JT. Outside of Leva, because she wasn't really there. I already knew
Right. Yeah.
she goes without saying. But
Yeah.
those three I knew had it going on like Donkey Kong. But no, they
Well,
fooled me. They fooled me. They fooled me.
I was surprised. And yet, I think JT needs to accept and be humbled by the fact that he got a little bit of fame and his appeal went up and he got real tempted. And I think that he needs to be humbled because he wants to claim that he has this high and mighty integrity, but he also didn't have the privilege of celebrity either. And now he's getting it. So, the way that he judged Shep, Austin, and Craig, or anybody for their behavior, well, ooh, look at you. You had more opportunity and you didn't perform so hot either, bucko.
Yeah, because his first season, season 9, he was still pining over his ex-wife.
In a weird way, yeah, he was a serious dork, and then he got on TV, lost some weight, he's on Southern Charm, and no matter what kind of dork you are absolutely elevated in what kind of woman you could pull,
I,
because
I hope his mama laid into him so good. And the aunt, both of them. How dare you?
well, I think that they had him. I think he was advised to show back up, to show his integrity, to take accountability for whatever, and to stand up. I think the women in his family definitely said, no, 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 you don't walk away and leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. You stand up, even though you're nervous about this.
At
And
this
you,
point, his culpability.
yeah, I mean, but
Really?
here's the thing. He's no
Mhm.
worse than any of the three guys sitting on that stage with their own BS. So, ultimately, the only thing about it is that he stood up on a chair and headbutted Austin because he thought he was morally superior. So,
The only two people left is Rodrigo and Ryan. So they gonna mess around and just make everything, or are they gonna keep to themselves? Because those are only two people left. The left ain't there no more. So
yeah. Well, Rodrigo just got engaged.
that and
I know. Well, Andy's like, how long were you guys together? 10 years. Oh, and now you're getting engaged? Okay.
there's an opportunity. That's
Yeah. Are
all I'm saying.
you trying to stay on the show with a storyline of a wedding?
Girl, I'm so damn disappointed. I just knew. Okay, we got some non-pH balance, imbalanced folks on. Now everybody mixing. Everybody mixing.
Truly.
Mixing.
Truly. Everyone has. Yeah.
Dang.
Yep.
Well,
Because listen, JT's girlfriend supposedly has 2 restraining orders from other cast members. And how much you want to bet that it's because she mingled pH balances with them and then wouldn't leave it alone?
first the Fat Boys break up. Now this. Mm.
Well, part 2, here we come.
Can't wait for part 2, y'all. Have y'all seen it? As you can tell, we are in this. I mean, it's girl. You know what's funny? I was listening to another podcast, and some people were just dogging this show out. I was like, y'all don't understand what's going on in this show. Y'all need to go watch because this show is good. GOODT, good. Y'all can't be dogging it. This my show, y'all. Now, come on. They really just, you know how some people just hear word of mouth and they just thrive off of that and then just start chomping at the bits and don't really know for sure. Girl, I'm like, y'all just don't know. This show is good. It's gonna last. This show is gonna last until they just refuse to do the show.
Well, the interesting thing is the show actually can expand with them, unlike Vanderpump Rules, where they stopped like working at the bar, like the premise didn't really make sense anymore. They
Mhm.
all, the guys are still genuinely friends. They said that, right? They were like, we've reconnected, Shep's been more present, we've been hanging out. Like, they have real history. And if you watch this show is crazy. Thomas Ravenel, all the woo, like, no, this show is crazy. And Yeah, there have been dud seasons, there's been dry spells, there's been all those things, but I'm glad that the show's endured, and I appreciate. Thank you for your services, Southern Charm, for the
Okay.
entertainment.
Okay. Because I still need to watch that one season that
Shep
it
was
was
real mean to Madison.
that one, and maybe 2 seasons if it's
Mm.
not the same one, but somewhere along the lines of Ravenel and Catherine was still on, and either it was their goodbye season, somewhere around there. What was that, 7, maybe
No,
8?
I know what you're talking about. I think I faded out there too. It was like,
And some
yeah.
girl was fighting
Oh,
with,
Ashley.
I don't know, but she was, I don't know if it was physical, maybe it was, but she was coming for Catherine, just calling her all kind of
Yeah, you need to watch. That's actually one of the best.
trash.
That's one of the best seasons ever. That girl is a bona fide psycho. She made
Ooh,
Catherine look like an angel.
what was that, season 7?
I don't know, but Ashley, the Ashley season. That
Girl,
girl is so crazy. You gotta watch it. Totally.
just made
That's
this
a
weekend.
great season.
I just might, because I remember I don't know whose house it was. Maybe it was Patricia and Whitney's, but they were outside. It was that similar balcony looking wraparound with the iron
They might have
gable.
even been at the bank. They might have been. It was the end of the season finale
Mhm.
party where they all dress up. So,
That too,
mm-hmm.
whatever it was, but child, all I know is Catherine was getting read for filth by
You gotta
some
watch it.
woman dating Thomas.
Yep, yes. Oh, you gotta watch it. The most hateable woman, truly, and
Ooh.
that's saying a lot. No, she's one of the biggest villains on this season.
And I think
I mean, on the show.
maybe Cameron was still there. I can't
Yep.
recall.
No, that was when Cameron looked at Catherine and was like, "What you've been through, I'm so sorry." Like, yeah, no, it's a great season. It's a great season.
Mm, mm, mm.
I highly recommend to go back to
Because
that one.
whoever that was didn't last, but then I was
No,
hearing
because
them.
it's
Yeah.
so crazy. You have no idea. Yeah, you gotta watch, and then you'll understand why I'm reacting this way. No, Ashley.
I
Ooh,
I promise I will.
yeah, that's the
Before
one.
before summer gets here, I'm gonna definitely be all caught up.
Yeah, because you want to talk about. Yeah, I'm telling
Because I
you,
need time to watch. I got stuff going on, so
you are
I
very
want to make
busy, but it's.
sure I have
Mm-hmm.
time to watch.
Yeah. That whole situation was kind of an end of an era for all of that because I
Yeah,
think the season after that, Thomas didn't come back because of all the allegations and stuff like that. Like, so, yeah.
girl.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, end of an era. But anyway, Southern Charm. It's a good show,
Yeah,
folks. Don't let anybody tell
yeah.
you otherwise.
And this is just part 1. We got what, 2 more
Mm-hmm.
parts left, child?
At least one.
Yes, and hopefully they'll give a more updated picture. But this is all them, child. We didn't cover Ryan, but for the most part, that's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Whitney was a no-show, but Miss Patricia was there again in her lovely pleated muumuu realness with the shoes matching the decolletage. Yes, go ahead, girl.
Mm-hmm. Hey, she looks good for how old she is. She's in her 80s.
Girl, 105, I think she said.
Right? Seriously, it's good. No, she's well preserved because she doesn't. You can tell she's had work done, but it's not so much that you're like, ah.
Yes, she looks good. Cause
Mm-hmm.
child, ooh, I ain't even gonna insult nobody. I'm just gonna say she looked
She
good.
looks younger than her son at this point.
And she never slurs her words, no matter how many drinks her butler makes. Girl, she be on her 5th drink.
Exactly. Listen, you know, the reason Whitney wasn't there is he was drunk under the table.
Lord. Oh Lord. Cause they even film her coming in to tape just by herself. He wasn't even with her. So I don't even think he came to New York.
Probably not.
Well, y'all, that was it. I think we've
Exhausted it.
done it all. But this is just part one, child. Ooh, I can't wait for next week. I really can't. All righty. So, any last words, or we just pretty much dried it out, huh?
We have. I think we've wrung it clean. Yep.
Nothing left on the bone.
Yep. We done cracked it and scraped out the marrow.
Okay. Oh, my grandmother she showed me how to eat bone marrow. Big ups to Grand. We miss you. All righty. Girl, my man. What's up, Shep? Holla at me. Well, y'all, that was it. I just so giddy over this show. But yes, okay. So serious. Take two. Y'all, that was it for Southern Charm season 10 finale. This is just part one, y'all. Just part one. We got at least one or two parts left, and we're gonna say goodbye. But before we do, we need to know where we're gonna find Aaron. Lady, please let the folks know when you're not filming with me on this Drag Race or Southern Charm or OC coming up. Hey, Gretchen, let the folks know, please.
You can find me on Instagram at psychic_ELB. Hit me up in the DMs where you can get a friends and family discount to say that Ray All Day sent you. And then stay tuned because at some point here, I'm going to be getting together my own show. Not necessarily doing reviews like I do here. That's why I love to join Ray All Day because this is where the pop culture reviews are at. Something a little bit more within the psychic realm, but we'll see. Stay tuned. I'll let y'all know.
For sure, and we're gonna definitely follow you. If you haven't already, please do. You see our handles are up there. And thanks again for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this review. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all. All day.